Hi guys, and welcome to a brand new episode of B-Movie Madness. Believe it or not, I received a fan letter in the mail. And I'm not talking about an email, I'm just talking about regular old handwritten mail. As you can see right here, from a fan in Australia. Well, I'm going to read the letter now out loud for you. Guys, I haven't read it yet, so this is the first time I'm reading it. It says, Dear Mr. John, my name is James Oxley and I live in New South Wales, Australia. My favorite horror franchise is A Nightmare on Elm Street. The 2010 remake being my absolute favorite, mate. Okay. I've been a fan of your show since you started uploading last year. I especially like it when you wear that tight little blue Avengers t-shirt. My God, have I cracked a fat watching you in that. Would you do me a favor and wear it more often? Or nothing at all? Your choice, mate. Hugs and kisses, Oxley. Okay. That was pretty creepy and weird and unusual. I was not expecting that. I was hoping it was just going to be like, I like your show, do more. But that was really off-putting. Well, I'm Jonathan Knight, and this is B-Movie Madness. Yeah. Hey, welcome back. Again, I think I said that at the beginning. Well, welcome back. Sorry for that creepy fan letter. It wasn't really what I was expecting, but we're going to move on from it. And we're going to talk about the movie that I have planned tonight. But first, you know what I have to do. It's back, by the way. No trash bag. The good old Whitey. Good old Whitey's back. Oh, fucking up. So let's see what we have here. That's very strange. Not one copy, not two copies, but 3 copies of Ghosthouse on 3 different formats. And I got this one upside down. Formats. What the fuck ever. Shake my hat. Everything's cool. 3 different copies on 3 different kind of formats of Ghosthouse. You're thinking, who in the hell would want to own that movie on VHS, DVD, and Blu-ray? Well, I'm nutty enough to own it. Now, before I get on to my review, just today, July 17th, 2015, I got this in the mail from a good friend of mine named Mr. Bill. He's a good friend of mine. He loves the show. And he knew I loved this movie, so he sent it to me. And as a tribute to him, the trash can's below. I'm going to do this. Now, you probably don't understand why I'm doing that. He'll understand that, and it's a tribute to him, because, well, I'll say it all. He hates Blu-ray. So, as a homage to him, I threw it in the trash. But we're going to talk about Ghosthouse. Let's get on to the review. Ghosthouse. This is a movie that I didn't really discover until probably my mid-teens, and I downloaded it from the internet and watched it. I never had this at the video store. If it was at my video store, I would have rented it. What the fuck's wrong? I would have rented it. Whatever. I would have watched it. Because, for one thing, this cover right here, this image right here of the house, I don't think there's much better art out there for this movie. The main art you can find is the little girl holding a ghost doll. Her ghost doll. Clown doll. Ooh, I'm really fudging it up, aren't I? That's the main art you can find. I think that's the Italian art. This is the US VHS art. But the back cover of this is awesome. If I saw this as a kid, if I looked at the back cover, because I didn't just glance at the cover, I would actually pick the box up and turn it around and look at it. This is amazing looking. because you got the evil clown doll, 2 images of it, one looking like the normal, one looking evil, a guy drowning in sludge, and then you got some gore going on right up here. And I'm going to read the plot for you. This is the VHS. The Blu-ray one has a different it's kind of similar to the VHS one, the plot. I'm going to read it. Ghosthouse makes Elm Street look like a nice neighborhood. In Ghosthouse, you'll see special effects and splatter galore. The faucets drip blood, electricity is shocking, and whatever you do, don't go in the basement. Every time the ghost of the little girl and her ghoulish doll appear, someone dies a horrible death. And the putrid powers of evil are unleashed once again. It won't do any good to tell yourself it's only a movie. You won't believe it. This is Ghosthouse, where death holds the mortgage, and if you move in, there'll be hell to pay. Ooh, right. If I read that as a kid, I would have been like, sold. And, you know, as a kid, you don't really know. If you read the credits, you don't know these are Italian made, because a lot of the times, and it's, for the most part, the names on there, they have changed it to sound more American. Like Bruno Mattei would change his name to like Vincent Don. This is directed by Umberto Lenzi. If you don't know who Umberto Lenzi is, he's the director of the infamous Cannibal Ferox. But he's also directed Nightmare City, which I believe right now is being remade by Tom Savini, which is really weird. But he made those. Them are his 2 most notable titles, and they're fantastic. On here, he changed his name to Humphrey Humphrey Humphrey. Now, if I'd seen this as a kid, I would have been able to tell even at that time that name was fake as all hell, because it doesn't even sound real. Vincent Dawn, yeah, you can maybe say that's real. I mean, it does, that one does sound like a fake name too, but it doesn't come as close to sounding as fake as Humphrey Humphrey. Okay. I'm not a great reviewer, but I'm just going to talk about how much I love this movie. I'm not going to say this is a great movie. The dialogue is terrible. There's plot holes galore. The characters, some of them are just so annoying. But the reason I like it is because it has everything I like in a haunted house movie, but done in the most cheesiest but most entertaining way possible. Despite all the shortcomings it has for it, or in it, going for it, it's really just entertaining. I mean, I've read some reviews because of the Blu-ray that it just came out June 30th. When it came out June 30th, people were like saying, you know, criticizing it. But one thing I can definitely say about this movie, it's not boring at all. I mean, it's cheesy as all hell, and it's not very good. I mean, if you were to compare it to another, I wouldn't say it's a haunted house movie, but like similar, it'd be House by the Cemetery, and I think that movie is way better than Ghosthouse. What's funny is the house in House by the Cemetery and the house in Ghosthouse are the exact same house. In Massachusetts, I believe they filmed the movie. So it's the exact same house. But it has everything I like in a haunted house movie, but done like in this really Italian, cheesy way. A lot of the Italian horror films in like the late 80s were like, they weren't really well done. They were just done to make money. In actuality, in Italy, this movie was called La Casa 3. The producers changed the name from Ghosthouse to La Casa 3. If you don't know what La Casa is, in Italy, that's what Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 was called. So when they called this La Casa 3, people thought, oh, this is the 3rd Evil Dead movie. And then when they did a Ghosthouse 2 and a Ghosthouse 3, they changed the names of those movies to La Casa 4 and La Casa 5. And those movies were changed. I think La Casa 4 is Witchery, and La Casa 5 is Beyond Darkness. Not the necrophilia movie from the early or late 70s or early 80s, but a Claudio Fragasso movie from 1989. I'll be reviewing that one in the future. But Ghosthouse was extremely successful in Italy because they changed the name to basically Evil Dead 3. Because this was, about 5 years before, 5 or 6 years before Army of Darkness. So that movie was extremely successful in Italy. I don't know how it did in America, and I assume that this was just the only release right here, this VHS. The VHS came out in 1988. But basically, the story, like it says here, it's about a couple who hear some terrible things have happened in the house. There's like a ham radio enthusiast who hears all these weird music and all these demonic voices and all that, and he travels to find out where the voices and the music has come from, and they find the house. They also find out a couple and the boyfriend's sister, they're broken down in front of the house, and they discover the voice on the radio is actually the boyfriend. And he's like, I never recorded that, I never said that, and it's from actually the future. The movie has a lot of plot holes, so you just gotta go with it. And one by one, just like the back in here, they start dying horribly. There's visions of a little girl and her clown doll. There's like a Grim Reaper with maggots on his face. There's a dog. Objects move on its own. Typical haunted house stuff, and it's basically every single haunted house like cliche, all in one package. But like I said, done like in that Italian cheesy way that they did in the late 1980s. Like I said, the acting is very good. The characters are just, there's one girl, the sister character, that's just incredibly annoying, but she has the best death in the movie. In fact, the movie is pretty violent and gory. It's not super gory, you know. When I say violent and gory, I'm not talking about like Umberto Lenzi's Califarox, which was a mean-spirited movie. This is more like goofy late 80s cheesy gore. There's an axe to a head, there's a knife to the throat, a body's cut in two, there's hedge clippers stabbing someone's back, etc. But it's basically everything. You got like a dog, you got a evil doll, a scary looking girl, a Grim Reaper, all kinds of spooky shit. But it's not really that, it's not scary at all. Although I think if you're really little, like a really little kid would be kind of spooked by this, especially the clown doll, because there's much more of the clown doll in this than there was in Poltergeist. And the clown doll in here, it looks nice, and then it has the evil face, and it wraps his arm around a woman's throat, which it shows on the back cover here. See that? I'm not sure. I'm not holding it right. There we go. And yeah, it's entertaining cheese. I mean, like I said, I read just a couple of reviews lately that people are saying, well, it's not a good movie, don't go in expecting a good movie. I was never expecting a good movie. When I first watched it, back in probably the early 2000s, I was never expecting a good movie. I was just expecting to be entertained. And I was entertained. You can't really compare it to the early 80s, like, Fulci and Argento stuff, because, it doesn't compare. Those movies are way, 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 way better. House by Cemetery, like I said earlier, is a way better movie than this. But this, in its own right, is very entertaining. It's cheesy, entertaining, it's gory. It's just fun. It's one of those turn off your brain movies and sit back and relax. Because if you start thinking about it, like I said, the movie has a lot of plot holes. The dialogue is laughable. The acting is cheesy. But just, if you like haunted house movies, especially old school haunted house movies, I'm not talking about haunted house movies from today, and you like B movies, then you will absolutely enjoy this movie. If you're in the right frame of mind. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but I love it. And I also really like the music to it. I think somebody just did it on rockshockpop.com. They did a review where they said the music was terrible and repetitive. I liked the music a lot. I thought it was kind of creepy in parts, and it was repetitive, but I thought it was creepy, and it didn't insult my ears. It didn't damage my eardrums. But I enjoy this. I'm a sucker for an old school haunted house movie, and I'm a sucker for B movies, so this movie kind of combined in one big awesome package. So my recommendation, if you like cheesy late 80s horror movies, then I absolutely recommend this 100%. I highly recommend it in that fact, and if you've already seen it, I do recommend picking up the Blu-ray, because you get it with Witchery, which is Ghosthouse 2, which is also La Casa 4, basically Evil Dead 4. So I highly recommend watching them both. So just, if you can get this really cheap, I highly recommend getting this. I think the VHS is very hard to find, so if you're a VHS like collector, from what I can gather, this is actually pretty hard to find. So the fact that my Mr. Bill sent this to me was really, really, really unbelievably awesome, and I am so grateful for him doing that, because like I said, I'm a huge fan of this movie. I would like to get a poster of it. In the poster, like I said, here's the art for the Blu-ray. That's way better than this. But the back cover of this is just amazing. I don't know what else I can say about this. I thought it was a cheesy good time, and if you like Italian horror movies, if you like cheesy Italian horror movies, like if you like the stuff that Claudio Fragasso does. Besides Troll 2. Like, if you like Zombie 4, boom, right there. Check this out. That's all I gotta say. I'm Jonathan Knight. This has been B-Movie Madness. Thanks for watching. I especially like it when you wear that tight little blue Avengers t-shirt. My God, have I cracked a fat watching you in that. Would you do me a favor and wear it more often? Or nothing at all? Your choice, mate. Hugs and kisses, Oxley. Okay. That was pretty creepy and weird and unusual. I was not expecting that. I was hoping it was just gonna...
Creepy? Unusual? I'll show you creepy and unusual, mate. No one messes with James Oxley. Nobody. I'm gonna make you look like one of those trannies that live down the street from me, mate. Nobody messes with the orcs. And I mean nobody.
Maybe there's something supernatural about all this, guys.
I don't know. I just feel like we're in some kind of danger and we've got to do something.
I don't like this place. It's depressing. There's something evil about the house.